This is a video tutorial which will demonstrate how to use the pattern mode on the Yamaha Motif MO8. So we go to pattern mode, and I'm just going to describe in brief some of the features and functions that you see on the screen. I'm gonna use my phone just to make it clearer. So this is what the screen looks like when you're in pattern mode. Over here, this is the track number and I'll just interchange the words pattern and song. So this is more like the song number, and if you have the song name, it will be written over here. And at the top here, you'll see the numbers 1 up to 16. These numbers represent the different tracks. The MO8 can record up to 16 tracks, and these same 16 tracks are also represented by the 16 buttons here, starting from here 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 8, then 9 to 16 over here. So there's the track select button over here. This button will select which track you want to record to. Let's say I want to record track number 4. I choose track 4. If I want to record it to track 13, I choose 13 over here. And then there's also the mute and the solo button over here. What the mute button is, if you press it, all the track lights light up, and if you press a specific track, it gets muted. So I've just muted tracks 2, 3, 4 and 5. Then I can switch them on. Then if you want to solo a track, that means just have that track play while other tracks are silent. You press and hold the solo button and you press the track you want to solo. This means only track 12 over here will be playing, all the other tracks will be muted. So that's basically how to use the track select and the mute solo buttons over here. So coming back to the screen, I won't explain the groove function because I don't really know how it works myself, but I've explained the track number. This is the transpose. If you want to play back and transpose the key of the track, you can record in a different key as well if you want. This is the number of measures in the song and the tempo as well. Sorry, number of beats in the song, and these are the measures and the counts. So when you want to record, the first thing you do is we're gonna record the song Mary Had a Little Lamb, and I know it's gonna have 8 measures, so I have to change the measures here to 8. So I go here and use my arrow buttons over here. So if I change the selected part and I move my arrow buttons to over here, then I can use the incremental button over here to increase it to 8. So I've now got it at 8, and I'm gonna be recording Mary Had a Little Lamb in the key of C sharp. So I press my record button, and when you press your record button, it lights up. It's not yet recording. If you play anything, it doesn't record anything. The moment you press play, it will count up to 4 and then it will start recording. So let's say you want to have a practice run, you can press play, then press record straight afterwards, As long as the record light is blinking or flashing, it won't be recording anything. So if I press play, it's going to count up to 4. Then I'm going to press record again, it's going to start flashing and nothing will be recorded. So here goes 2, 3, 4. So if I play anything right now, it's going to get recorded. But if I press the record button again, it will be flashing and nothing will be recorded. So I can play whatever I want and nothing will get recorded. Then when I want to record, then that's when I press the record button. And whatever I play this time is going to get recorded. So I'm going to record to my first track, which is track number 1 over there. And I'm going to record, I'm going to start with the flute sound, which will play the tune Marriott a Little Lamb. So I press record over here, and then I go to the screen here and I press function 2 button, this one, which is the one directly under voice. So I press voice, and you can use the up and down incremental buttons to change the voice, but I usually find it easy to just press the category search button over here, and then it brings you to the category search and you can navigate to the voice you want. So I'm going to use the flute. So this is the sound I'm going to use for track 1. The default sound is a piano, so I'll just change it to a flute sound. Okay, so I've got my record ready. When I press, the moment I press play, it's gonna start recording at the count of 4. So here it goes. Right, you'll notice that in pattern mode it works in loops. So after it has finished the 8 measures, it will start repeating from measure number 1. So I could go on to the next track and record something, a different voice on top, let's say a drum or bass, but I'm gonna just stop it and start all over on a new track instead of continuous recording, but it's still possible. The reason why I'm stopping it is because sometimes if I do continuous recording, there's a bug in the keyboard which makes it forget which voices are on which track, and then sometimes it just mixes up the voices on the different tracks. Like you might have a drum sound playing, a drum track playing but with a bass sound, and it sounds weird. So the other thing, another thing is the moment you press record over here, the screen changes and you come up with this screen. It's usually set to overdub, that's the default. Overdub usually means you can record a loop. If you press stop and start recording again, it will record on top of what already has been there. Whereas if you change the overdub, if you press decrease over here, it changes to replace. This means that if you stop recording and then you start recording again, to erase everything and record on top afresh, and that means you lose what you had recorded early on. If you press the up arrow over here, it changes to step recording. Step recording, I'll explain it later, but basically it gives you slots in which you can, more like what you can do in other digital audio workstations like Fruity Loops, where you can manually put in which notes you want, which beat, and that kind of thing. but I'll explain it later, and it's usually used for drum sounds. So I'll just put this back to replace, and below it there's where it's written loop. If you turn it off, it just means it will play the 8 measures and then it will stop. But if you put it on, it will keep on looping continuously. Then below it there's the quantize. Quantize just basically means sometimes you might play one note off beat. The keyboard will try as much as possible to shift